How's it going, boys? So I just wanted to make a quick video in a response to a survey that I did on my YouTube channel. So I asked guys how many girls you slept with, and it turns out the majority of the guys has slept between 0 to 10 girls in their lifetime. And I personally find that very shocking. So the amount of guys that have slept with over 100 girls was 8%, which is very little in my opinion. So I did some digging, and what I could find from the mentality of guys that didn't get a lot of quality women in their life is that they tended to have a wrong mentality regarding dating and regarding their own self-worthy. So what I actually learned is from asking guys, why didn't you have more girls? Why are you not approaching more girls? Why are you not sleeping with more girls? And the response was because girls prefer guys who make more money than me. Girls prefer guys who are more handsome than me. Girls prefer guys who are taller than me or speak in a better way than me. And there is some truth to that. However, I can honestly tell you that, first of all, I'm a 5'7" guy. I'm a short guy, okay? I come from Israel and my English level was pretty bad for the beginning of my dating years. I definitely did not have much money. I was basically living month to month. I was happy to just pay the bills. As you can probably tell, I'm not the most handsome guy, but somehow I managed to get to over 100 girls, and most of them, or at least a big portion of them, were extremely attractive. Now, I'm really not saying that to brag. The point I'm trying to make here is, if I managed to get that, why are you not? And the answer for that relies on the difference of the thought process between men and women. So the way guys think about it is they think that every girl they're gonna approach has a database in her head of all the guys that are available to her, how much money they're making, how good looking they are, how charismatic or whatever, and she's literally comparing them to the rest of the population. And sure, if you think about it in that way, it's very discouraging if you think you're gonna compare yourself to everybody else. However, the truth is that this is far from the truth. It's completely wrong way of looking at things. The thing is, we guys are very analytical and we are very logical, and sure, this thought process makes some sense that a girl will pick the better guy. However, in reality, that's not what happens. So what happens is this: the attractive girl that you're really craving, first of all, most of the guys are not gonna even dare to approach. So eliminate 95% of the guys, okay? And then on top of that, you're gonna realize that a lot of the guys are not that great with communication and they can be perceived as douchebags. And what girls actually pay more attention to is the connection they had with a guy, the feeling that guy makes them feel. And they are not just sitting and trying to compare like analytically in terms of which guy has more money or better looking or taller. And if a girl is actually doing that, you should avoid this girl at any cost, because those are personality traits of a psychopath that has absolutely no regard to human emotions. So those are the kind of girls that you do not want in your life. And I can tell you with confidence that a lot of the guys that I know that are sleeping with women every guy would wish to sleep with are actually broke. They don't have that much money. Some of them are old, some of them are not that good looking, but they mastered the art of holding a good conversation, making a good connection with the girls they want to date, and a lot of the times they're not spending that much money, and they would honestly smoke me in terms of the kind of girls they're dating and the amount of girls that they're sleeping with. And so really looking at things in terms of why would she choose me compared to the rest of the guys when I'm not making as much money, I'm not as good looking, I'm not as fit, I'm not as handsome, is a really terrible way to look at things. And the only way and the only thing you should focus on is trying to make the interaction good, trying to be funny, trying to make a good emotional connection with a girl. And once you do that, I promise you that she is gonna close an eye on a lot of your downsides, so to say. And if she enjoys hanging out with you, she's gonna wanna hang out with you even more. And it honestly reminds me of how people would never start a business in their life. Like, there's always this argument of 99% of businesses fail, right? And most people look at this statistic and they're like, well, if 99% of businesses fail in the first 7 years, why should I even bother trying, right? And so what that does is it actually makes them never try, makes the majority of people never try. That's why the majority of people are employed and a lot of them are in jobs that they don't like. So what I'm trying to say here is this: most people don't even try just because they read some statistic online. And just the fact that you try, go say hi or whatever, initiate the conversation, it will already put you in the top 5%. Okay, from there, might suck, might fail, that's fine. But just the fact that you tried will put you in the top 5%, if not 1%. Another thing that guys don't realize is that guys that have money and are good looking and charming and all of that also struggle and also get rejected, okay? And I feel like a lot of guys don't realize the amount of work that is involved into getting a quality woman. I'm not even saying a girlfriend, just like to date a quality woman long term. It takes quite a bit of time. And so just to put it in perspective for you, there is something called the Bang Index. I didn't name it, it was Rouge V that named it. And so the Bang Index basically says how many approaches do you have to make before you get laid, basically, in one country or the other. And for your information, in the places where it's actually easy to get laid, or at least used to be easy, like Poland or East Europe, the Bang Index is around 45 to 50, which means for you to even get laid, not even find a girl, to get laid, you have to make 45 to 50 approaches. And out of that, maybe you'll get 5 dates, and out of that, maybe you'll make a good connection with one girl and sleep with a nice girl. And so the majority of the guys are not putting this kind of work, I can promise you. Most of the guys are not. And this is talking about the easy mode, right? Once you go into more difficult countries, so to say, the Bang Index goes to 70 to 100 or 120 sometimes, which means you're gonna really have to make a lot of approaches before you can judge if your method is good, if they like you or not. So if you haven't done 100 approaches, you really can't judge yourself. You can't judge if you are good looking or you're well dressed or anything like that, because you haven't even tried enough. And I do realize that there's a lot of work involved in approaching 100 girls, and it's not something that you can do in a day. However, just like with anything else, if you break it down into smaller tasks, for example, you say that every day after work, you're gonna go take a walk at the mall, for example, and then do 10 approaches. So the first 10 girls that you find attractive, you're gonna approach them. Then within a week, 2 weeks, you already got your 140 approaches. And in this way, if the Bang Index in the country where you're living is 140, then you have managed to get one girl in a couple of weeks, which is a great result, right? And that, in my opinion, the only reason why most guys are not getting results. And on top of this, you gotta realize that people became so lazy nowadays, they're expecting to just swipe on Tinder and to get dates from there. Tinder is probably the worst place to actually find quality girls, especially in a competitive market. The reason for that is Tinder is where girls actually can compare guys one-to-one, have them all basically standing one next to the other, and she can just swipe on them very quickly, and all she has to compare is basically your looks. So that's why I don't like Tinder, because unless you are a model out of a magazine, you're not gonna be getting the top 10% or 5% of the girls. So really nowadays, if you want to get quality woman, you have to get out there and do the kind of work that most guys are not willing to do. And if you are working online and you're able to travel, I would also recommend you to find a place where it's much more likely for you to find the girl that you're searching for in terms of looks, in terms of personality and family values. So you might want to travel somewhere to South America or Eastern Europe or somewhere else where your efforts are gonna give you much better returns. That's what I do personally. I think it's kind of not very smart to compete in a saturated market, just like you wouldn't open a business that is basically similar to a million other businesses that already exist. You want to have some sort of edge. The same reason you wouldn't go compete in a market that is totally saturated, very high competition. It's much better to go somewhere where it's a bit less competition and you're gonna get much better return on your investment. And anyway, I hope this video helps some of you guys out there. I just wanted to address this issue and hopefully it'll get you closer to the girlfriend of your dreams or the wife of your dreams or whatever you're looking for. And anyways, if you did enjoy this video, I'd appreciate it if you leave it a thumbs up, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye-bye.